What's going on, everybody? It is Wisdom Wednesdays. I'm back, and I've brought my friend Nick Fager again onto this lovely YouTube channel to talk to us about some important topics and have me not feel like a crazy person talking to myself.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me.
Happy to have you back. And why don't you talk about what we felt like talking about today?
Right now it would just be Trump and how we're coping. I think it's a very triggering and overwhelming time, and so just, I guess, making sure that we're, taking care of ourselves during this time.
Because that is super important. And in case you don't know who we're talking about our 45th President of the United States of America. And better to, again, like we said last week, deal with the topic rather than avoid it. So that's what we're doing now as mature adults.
There's a few things that I find myself saying to clients of mine: just take care of yourself during these next 3 years, hopefully 3 years. I think the first,
or less.
I think the first, or less. Or I think the first thing is just making sure you have someone that you can call, and also a space where you can go, where you can feel just relaxed and safe. And a person that you can talk to that isn't going to invalidate anything you're saying, isn't going to say something like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Therapy can be great for that, but really it can be anybody. It can be just a friend, as long as they're going to hear you out and not invalidate you in any way.
I think that's super important that you said, even as just telling someone, I need you to just listen to me. Like, please just let me vent. The thing is, we all, I'm sure, think about, the other side and try to be conscious that our way is not necessarily the only way or the right way. But that doesn't mean that certain things don't feel stressful and overwhelming, especially when we continue to see all these crazy stories on the news. I also love that you said, just a safe space. And if you can't go somewhere in general where you just feel safe, other things really don't kind of align to give you that comfort.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I oftentimes hear people talking about living situations that just sound really stressful. Whatever you can do to make your living situation safe, it's extremely important to have a home base to go to where you just feel like you can let down. And the other thing that just comes up for me in talking about this is that it's great to have someone to call. It's also great to offer that to somebody else, and especially to another community member, right? Because everyone needs it. Minimizing comments, things like, it's not that bad, it's gonna get better, whatever it is, that can actually just invalidate the person, as opposed to just really all you need to do is listen, and all you need to do is say, I'm here for you, I can relate. Just don't take them away from what they're going through.
For me, a big thing is to just not get stuck in a loophole of negativity. Really easy to turn on social media and just feel like it is endless. Even going to the gym, which is a huge stress release for me, there's TVs in the gym and you can't avoid them, and I find myself on the Stairmaster being like, this is happening again. Be aware of where you're going for your news, and to also be aware of where you're going to get away from it, but to also just take a step back from it. Like, we all have fallen into that black hole of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, and then I don't know how I got to this person on this page that is making me feel 7 different ways of not good, but I need to remove myself from this immediately and just be like, okay, everything's okay. Take a deep breath, smile for 1 minute, say 5 gratefuls, whatever it is that helps you feel a little bit better. While things are tough, we do all have the power to kind of shift how we are feeling in specific moments. Yes.
I get extremely triggered when I go on social media, and I hear it from so many people. And so I think really just laying down clear boundaries when it comes to social media in particular, staying away as much as you can, especially, people are still connected to people on social media, like distant family members that are on the other side of the aisle or have completely different views. You have no connection to that person, and yet you're still staying connected to them, and they oftentimes say things trigger trauma, right?
I don't want to cut you off, but I think that's really important to understand, this is traumatic experiences. That's not too big of a word. This is trauma-inducing for people.
Completely. I mean, it can be trauma with as we say, a small t or a big T. When someone says something that completely invalidates your experience as a queer person, right, it can be traumatizing. It's really important to stay conscious of that. What effect these comments that people in your life that are just connected through social media, not actually in your life physically, you're just sort of staying connected to them because maybe you feel obligated, and yet they're saying things that are extremely triggering to you and actually are making you really unhappy or angry or whatever it is.
And they're destructive to your emotional well-being. And mental health at the end of the day. And I think that's super important to realize, that just because someone's family doesn't mean that they're good to have in your life at this moment.
Unfriend, right? I mean, people are really nervous to unfriend, the other person's gonna take it in this horrible way. By avoiding that, you're causing yourself more pain than good. It's not to say that you should only expose yourself to people that agree with you. It's just be careful of any things that might be traumatizing to you.
Definitely, and it's really easy to get caught up in this bubble of people who think like you because it's the people that you tend to be friends with. There's a big difference between disagreeing, triggering, and creating, like you said, trauma, big T or little t. I like that capital and lowercase situation. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, I mean, little t traumas happen all the time, and talk about microaggressions a lot in psychology. Little moments in the day when you feel slightly invalidated. Little microaggressions add up. It's not like they just go away. They really add up inside, and they contribute to really overwhelming feelings, particularly for minorities in general, dealing with those microaggressions and finding safe spaces, again, to deal with them. So it's just something to keep in mind. How are you dealing with your anger? We all have anger right now, and so how are you actually dealing with it? And make sure that you're actually using it for some good for our community.
You're going to feel all different types of emotions, good, bad, ugly, angry, happy, and all of that's going to lead to you feeling energy, and it's how are you using that energy as fuel towards whatever it is that you're working at or towards.
Exactly.
So you can take something that's uncomfortable or negative and use it towards positive, then it's productive at the end of the day, and that's what it's all about. Great, and I think that this is an awesome place to wrap up. Thanks, Nick, for being here. Again, Nick, tell everyone who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Nick Fager. I'm a psychotherapist here in New York City. I run an Instagram account called Gay Therapy. Just launched a startup called Lighthouse, which matches people with nearby LGBTQI friendly or identified therapists, doctors, health, wellness professionals, even personal trainers. That is called Lighthouse. It's lighthouse.lgbt.
Link below.
And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for having me.
If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Thumbs up, show that you like this video and that you want to see more videos like this. If you have a question, a comment, or want to add to the conversation, please do so in the comment section below. And last but not least, if you like this video, then you should subscribe because it lets you know when a new video is up and ready to go, and that's nice and easy. So we will talk to you again very soon. Much love as always. Wink, wink. Awesome. Over and out. Bye, guys.
Bye.